What's up, guys? Rye the Web Guy here for another Street Shots tutorial. This week we're going to be going over the Street Shots Triple Shot Blaster, which I have right here. First things first, let's get into the different parts of the Triple Shot Blaster. As you'll notice right here, we have two triggers, your bottom trigger being your rev trigger and your top trigger being your launching trigger. The bottom trigger here controls how fast and what gear your vehicle will be put in before you launch it. And as you'll note on the back here, if you can see that number 4, as I hit the rev trigger, it will cycle through the different levels of speed that your vehicle can obtain. Then moving forward, we have our action, which is this gray piece below. This will be the piece that once a vehicle is loaded into your blaster, it will be the part that you slide forward and back, which will bring the car into the launching chamber, which will engage the engine and allow you to launch the vehicle. Last but not least, the loading chamber, which is this plate on top. This is where you'll be loading your vehicles. Then on the side here, you'll notice this screw right here. This screw is where you access the battery. So right here is the battery plate. You will need 4 AA batteries to load in here, and I will be going through how to load your batteries in the next step. Alright, now like I said before, you will be needing 4 AA batteries for the Triple Shot Blaster to run and perform correctly. You will load your batteries right into where you can see this screw on the side here. You will literally take your screwdriver, you will unscrew it, and you will see this faceplate will pop out like so. You will remove the faceplate, which will reveal the battery chamber where I have already loaded my batteries. Please make sure your batteries have been loaded correctly, and then replace the faceplate and tighten with the screwdriver. And now we are ready for the fun to begin. One of the first steps to loading your Triple Shot Blaster correctly is identifying the front and the back of your Street Shots vehicle. As you can see in the back here, as I rotate the vehicle, you'll see these pegs here and here. That identifies the rear of the vehicle, whereas you can see the front of the vehicle does not have pegs. So very clearly, pegs in the rear, the front, no pegs. Now that we have the front and the back identified on the vehicle, let's move into loading our vehicle into the vehicle loading chamber. So you'll see this gray plate on top here. You'll simply open the gray plate, which reveals our vehicle chamber. As you can see in the chamber here, there is a rail right here, and then there is an identical rail on the other side. This is the rails where the pegs on the rear of the vehicle will slide in. So loading is simply carefully just rolling it in, making sure your pegs are in the right spot, and then when the car just simply moves forward with no friction, you know you have loaded your vehicle correctly. We will do this 2 more times for a total of 3 vehicles, and then we will be ready for the next step. Now that we've loaded our vehicles in the vehicle loading chamber correctly, we can move on to loading our vehicles into the launch chamber. Now there are 2 ways to hold this blaster that will ensure a proper loading, and that is either flat on the ground, simply placing the blaster on the ground and cocking your action, which will slide the car into place. And as you'll see here, our car is flat and it has been loaded correctly. The other way that we can ensure a proper loading is to have the blaster angled down when we cock our action. And you can hear the car slide in there, and as you can see, the car has again loaded correctly flat. One thing worth noting is that if you load your vehicle from the vehicle loading chamber into the launch chamber and you go to engage the engine and you do not hear the engine engage, that is a sure sign that your blaster has been jammed. And now you'll need to take steps to remove the vehicle from the blaster. As you can see here, I have a jam. When I look down the barrel, you can see that this vehicle is sitting vertical in the chamber, which is a sure sign that this has been loaded incorrectly, and we'll need to take steps to remove the vehicle from the chamber. Now there are two ways that you can remove the vehicle from the chamber. One is you can lightly tap and cock the action and the vehicle will simply fall out. If that measure does not work, you will need to take the next step, which will be bring your blaster to your parents and have them use a long, skinny tool like a screwdriver and simply push it up the barrel, which will push the vehicle into the loading chamber, and again, it will just simply fall out. All right, well that concludes this tutorial on loading our triple shot blaster correctly. If you have more questions, please reach out to service@bliptoys.com and we will answer your questions as soon as possible. Thank you.